So Wayne, let's go back a little bit and talk about how you first got into arm wrestling and what made you stick with it.
I enjoyed it since I was a little boy. I hear stories about my dad going to a little country store at the county line where they had a little pool table, and him and his buddies would go in there and just arm wrestle on the regular tables inside. They didn't have arm wrestling tables, but I'd hear stories about them arm wrestling and playing pool and stuff like that. And I wanted to be like my dad. I had a lot of respect for my dad. He was like a real strong, like man's man, I would call it, that worked out in the woods and ran chainsaws and stuff like that. So when I was like 13, my dad brought me the movie Over the Top. He said, "I think you might like this." And I watched the movie and really fell in love with it. And then I started arm wrestling against my dad almost every day. And by the time I was 16, I could beat him or any other grown man in the county. I was just like the little kid that could beat any big guy at arm wrestling. And kind of lost touch with it for several years. Started, the married thing and had the kids and started riding four wheelers and stuff like that and fishing and just lost touch with arm wrestling. And fate would have it, the local town, long story short, put on an arm wrestling tournament. And I went and signed up and beat everybody. And I said, well, if they're doing it here, they got to be doing it in other areas too. And started looking across the country, finding tournaments, and started competing. Yes, that was in my late 20s. I was about 28, 29 years old when all that started.